What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and today I am talking about the latest offering from Hanging Garden, Isle of Bliss. This also came out on March 20th, this time on Agonia Records, and this is, blah blah blah. This is the band's 9th studio full-length overall, my first time checking this band out, and here we are. So, for those who don't know, this is a Finnish melodic death slash death doom slash gothic metal band. It's like a interesting hybrid of all three sounds all mixed up into one band. And I got curious to check this one out considering, I'm always looking for more death doom bands, other melodeath bands, and even some gothic metal. Saw that all three were descriptors of this band and some of the bands they were being compared to. I was like, this sounds like this will be right up my alley. And, well, spoiler alert, it pretty much is right up my alley. So, kicking things off with the longest track of the album at about 6 minutes, 42 seconds, To Outlive the Nine Ravens. Right away, it's like this ambience and guitar that leads into almost like straight up melodeath, like tremolos and blasts, almost bordering on black metal a little bit, but I'd say it's definitely more towards melodeath. The vocals, I will say, you get a duo, a husband and wife duo, I believe, of Tony and Rika Hataka. Why did I put an I in there? Hataka, which Finnish names are really, really difficult for me for the most part, but I believe it's a husband and wife duo, but both of them do an amazing job across the board in terms of vocals. Like, Tony's got, like, this really cool, like, sullen mid-range, but he does some really cool, like, low gothic clean vocals, which definitely adds to the gothic metal vibes of this album. But Rika's, she's got like this somber, soulful, like tuneful, like almost breathy vocal. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Aaliyah Stanbridge from Trees of Eternity. Rest in peace. But she also brings in some like nasty snarls here and there to kind of go back and forth between herself and Tony. But yeah, vocally, I thought this album was awesome, and it really gets going on this opening track. But then it goes into like a bit of a lumbering section. There's some clean melodies, and then it gets really down into the doom. Like, it gets really slow. It gets atmospheric, almost to the level of like atmospheric black metal bands, even though this is not atmospheric black metal at all. But moving along, we get into a lot of different like songwriting varieties. Like, you get some songs that are like, for the most part, very much like gothic death doom, but then you get songs that kind of feel like gothic melodeath. A prime example of like a gothic melodeath track would be the second track, Eternal Trees of Turquoise. It's this big gallop, but it's got this dark, sinister gothic mood. It's almost like you take like Brave Murder Day era Catatonia and Insomnium and combine them into one song, and that's pretty much what you get here, because it's got that like Brave Murder Day type darkness to it, especially when it gets into the slower section. But one thing that actually comes up a little bit here and there on this album is bass melodies. Like, you get a bass melody here, as well as tracks like Arise Black Sun and Beneath the Fallen Sky, which is really cool to hear, like, other melodies coming into play that's not the guitars, the vocals, or even the keyboards or piano. But other examples of, like, gothic melodeath would be the song The Death Upon Our Shoulders. It actually starts off with, like, a dissonant melody before it gets into, like, gothic grooves, but then it does transition into more melodeath riffs and chugs. Like, there's some big chug on that track, and same with even The Blight's 9. Like, that song's got some, like, gothic chug to it, like, almost like Death Doom chug, but it's a little more on the mid-tempo side of things. But as far as like other riff changes you get on here, you do get some more tremolo riffs that pop up here and there, and mainly on, like I said, the opening track, but especially on the two songs I just talked about, "The Death Upon Our Shoulders" and "The Blight's Nine," like, there is some more tremolo riffs there. Hell, even the beginning of "Arise the Black Sun" gets into tremolos and gallops, and that song's almost straight up melodeath, but it does get into some death doom. As far as, like, the doomier side of things, probably some of the songs that have the most straight up doom would be the songs, the title track, um, yeah, the title track, but most especially, I would say "Beneath the Fallen Sky," the closer. Those 2 songs, I would say, are mostly straight up death doom, gothic doom, galore. Like the title track, you get this like somber harmony, which is a total mood shift because the first two tracks kind of have a darker, more sinister vibe, whereas the title track starts to shift into more of like a somber mood. But it's got some, but across the board on the album, you get amazing vocal harmonies from Tony and Rika. But the track "To the Gates of Hell," that one is almost soaring, like, it's almost triumphant in the first half, and it's more mid-tempo, again, more of that, like, melodeath vibe. But then the second half, it gets more bombastic and more towards, like, the gothic death doom side of things. And as far as, like, a straight up, like, gothic metal track, "Her Waning Light," for the most part, is like 100% gothic metal. It's got some groove to it. There are some soaring tremolo riffs that show up towards the end, but yeah, I just overall really, really love like the songwriting variety on here. Production wise, it's got heft, it's got great atmosphere. It's a little bit, I would say, a little bit more on the raw side, but it's still well recorded. As far as any negatives go, I do wish there could have been some, like, more, like, downtrodden doom sections on here, but for the most part, from what I got, this was some really, really good stuff. Overall, I'm gonna go with a 4 out of 5. I actually really enjoyed this for the dark, somber, sullen, morose, but at the same time, at points, like, an evil but also triumphant sound on here. So if you are a fan of, I would say, bands like Swallow the Sun would be a big one, Old Catatonia, Insomnium, Saturnus, but even also like Trees of Eternity, I'd say check this out. This is pretty damn good stuff. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.